Hello, welcome to the Any Wrestle podcast, live from, well, not live, I guess. We're recording from the event center here in Omaha. Excited to get things going here at the girls tournament, but this is the boys preview show, and we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming boys tournament. But first, without further ado, we always want to talk about Mr. Joe Schluckabeer and Insure Nebraska. Thank you to our sponsor, for letting us be able to do this. This is just a fun thing for us, and it's kind of the culmination of the whole season is in this wrapping up in this week. And I just want to say we appreciate you, Joe, and everybody. Go get your insurance stuff through old Joe at Insure Nebraska. Boys, it is here.
Yeah,
it is here.
Christmas.
So it's freaking Christmas. It's like it is just another thing, the boys tournament kicking off, the excitement. Oh my gosh, you guys! Like, what are the first thoughts when you came rolling into Omaha? I guess Cody, you live here, but Colin, what was your first thought rolling into Omaha, getting ready to go right away?
You don't get a lot of sleep this weekend, anyways. We were up late Sunday doing previews and all that stuff, so you don't get to bed early Sunday. We come down Monday, we had a draft where we had to pick everybody and pick our state champs.
Yeah.
So that took up a lot of last night. So you don't get to bed early last night. And, you just wake up early in the morning, ready to go today. Just you can't sleep because you're so excited.
Right.
Well, I have one thing that's been on my mind since we started this. We have this beautiful black leather state.
It seems awfully cramped.
It's all right. That guy in a little couch.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Obviously, a lot happened last weekend. Got to see Joe at Districts. He was, telling us, love the show. So it's always good to see him and always good to see those guys. I'm excited. A lot of good action. I'm really excited to talk about Class C and Class D because might actually have some good team races there. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Me and Colin were talking about it like the last few hours of the night last night when we were kind of winding down and stuff, how crazy C and D are going to be and the team races. And he showed me, actually, we were walking around Omaha earlier today, and he showed me his spreadsheet with the point allocations in Class D and how close it's going to be. And I mean, gosh, you have that as like a six team race, 5-team race or whatever, and it's separated by what, 10 points?
Yeah, the top four are separated by 9 points. And then number 5 is like 19 points out. So Class D is going to be really interesting. There's going to be a lot of huge swing quarterfinal matches on Thursday evening that could set the table for a couple teams.
Yeah, man. I mean, and similarly in Class C, like through the districts and how everything was set up, and some unfortunate results for certain teams that are hoping to push a couple of guys through that didn't get through and all that kind of stuff. And maybe and the opposite is true with a couple others where some got in that, didn't have them getting in on paper. And so like that Class C, we have thrusted now into a 4-team race when we largely thought it was going to be kind of maybe a 2-horse race. Now it's squarely in a 4-horse race, and it's going to come down to, as we're going to probably talk about this here shortly, but bracket draws matter. Yeah. And that's squarely why our 4th team in Class C is going to have a really good shot at maybe pulling this off, who's been under the radar a little bit, maybe all season from a state championship perspective. Anything in Class B and A that?
Well, just I think the big thing for Class A is that 260.5 number. Been talking about it a lot the last couple of weeks, and I'm sure you guys are tired of me talking about that, but Creighton Prep, that is the number they are looking for. That is the state record for tournament points. They are going to be sitting pretty close. So they got 12 guys in state, likely have 12 medalists. So that number is going to be very much in check. Down in Class B, you got Omaha Skutt. They're heavy favorites. We've talked about their 150 to 190-pound group that those guys score a lot of points. I mean, we're looking possibly at 28 to 30 points from each of those guys. And then you got guys down at 6, 13, 20 that are all in the top 3. The 20-pounder came up from 106. It's made a big push. So it's going to be very exciting to see kind of how that goes. And then kind of behind them, you got Bennington looking good. York's looking good. So Beatrice has a couple hammers. It's going to be real interesting.
That is a crazy story though, that with that 126 with Omaha Skutt, like, and ironically, as we are talking about that, the Class B guy comes walking in. Maybe Drew wants to say hello. You know, maybe talk about Connor Cooper
How
a
close
little
do I
bit.
have to get to this mic?
That's fine.
Close?
Yep, it's gonna get you.
Connor Cooper is my favorite wrestler right now. That's all. No, he was 106 JV basically for Omaha Skutt in December. Wrestled, I think he went to Reno, wrestled out of Reno when they traveled out there at 106. Fast forward to a month and a half, he's 126 for districts and at state duels, and had ranked wins back-to-back weeks, and sort of has himself set up for a state semifinals run. So cool story.
So while you're here, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Cody keeps glazing about Creighton Prep chasing the Class A state point record.
Mhm.
Does Omaha Skutt have a chance to come within 256?
Yeah, we've talked about Creighton Prep. Like, does Skutt have a chance? Of maybe we haven't been.
Well, if you have 5 champs and 5 for sure champ, maybe not for sure, but probably 5 champs, max points, that's 150.
Right.
You got 3 other guys who are top 3.
That's
So
another
that's
20-ish.
60. Yeah, another 60. So let's just say we're around 200. Because not all those guys are going to get bonus points.
Right.
So then that means you got Cooper could maybe get to 20. So let's say 220. And then
Man,
Kevin
that's,
Orsi, Carlson, and Strange would have to score like 40.
in combination, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
probably,
so it's probably
It's a slight chance.
right.
Yeah.
It's probably not doable, but
To put it in
I
perspective, when Millard South set their record, they had 9 finalists, 7 champions, a 3rd place, and a 4th place wrestler. So that's kind of
that's the bar.
yeah.
I mean, kind of. Yeah, it's going to be quite the day, quite the tournaments for obviously Prep and Skutt. It's a matter of pretty much how wide the gap is, obviously, or how high the gap or how high the ceiling is. But we kind of, I'm going to circle back to the district conversation with kind of having our draws matter. You know, Colin, I know you've had some you have a good explanation for this. Let's kind of hammer out on some district stuff.
Yeah, so I'm in the camp where when it first kind of got presented to me by the AD at Amherst, who I'm good friends with, he came up and asked me, he's like, hey, they're thinking about seeding the 4 district champions at state wrestling. Like, what do you think? I said, absolutely. Like, we should do it, you know, and now we're in year 3 of seeding the district champions, I believe. And I'm in the camp now of, I would either like to see it go back to random draw completely, or seed the whole dang thing, because I'm tired of looking at brackets and seeing the number 1 and 2 seed get absolutely hosed.
The number 1 and number 2 ranked.
Well, but,
not to confuse the seeds and ranks.
Well, right. Well, really,
with the 1 and 2 seeds.
Really, it's the 1 and 2 seeds.
Yeah.
I'm talking seeds. You know.
Okay.
I'm not
I see what you say.
I don't really care about rankings, you know, because guys can get beat. Rankings really don't matter.
Yeah.
But in a tournament format, the 1 seed should wrestle the 16 seed. He should have the easiest match in the bracket.
Yeah.
And if you go through the brackets the way we're doing it right now, and you look at it, more times than not, the top quarter for the 1 seed and the bottom quarter for the 2 seed are absolutely freaking wicked. And then you put the 4 seed and the 5 seed and the 3 seed and the 6 seed in the middle quarters. And it's, you have no idea who's coming out of those quarters because they're so weak.
Yeah.
And it's not about, you know, people are like, oh, well, that's just how the draw works. It's not a draw really anymore. It's more about what is the strength of your district. So if you're the top seed and you were in say a weaker district and you get the number 1 seed, and the number 2 seed has the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th best guys in the district with him, and the second best guy in the weight gets beat in the district final by the 3rd best guy, the second the third best guy at the weight is going to most likely end up as the 2 seed,
Yeah.
which then forces the district runner up into the same quarter as the 1 seed. So you're wrestling. What people were complaining because the state finals were happening on
Friday night.
Friday night.
Now they're happening.
Guess what? Now they're
Thursday,
happening
second
Thursday,
round.
second round in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I'm in the camp. I need a proposal. So coaches, if you're listening to it,
ADs.
somebody write a dang proposal to seed the whole state tournament. Brackets would come out quicker. We have the algorithm to do it. There's no reason why we don't just seed the whole state tournament 1 through 16.
And here's the other thing on that is that like coaches get an AD to do it. And because ultimately the NSAA is they're gonna just approve basically what the coaches want and vote for, and the ADs and throughout all the districts in the state, you know. So like they're basically a body that just implements what we want or what the coaches, ADs, and the sport of wrestling wants and needs to have the best experience possible for the kids. Because right now, doing it the way we did it, which we thought initially was going to be better, but ultimately, I think like what you're talking about,
Right.
the test period or whatever you want to call it has already kind of shown itself that it needs to be seeded either all or none.
You know, and even to go deeper into this, if the district is really deep with 4 really good guys, and I can speak on this in Class D specifically because I know Class D and I've looked at the brackets. There's 3 or 4 brackets in Class D that the number 1 overall seed is wrestling a guy that I have ranked like 6th or 7th in the state, first round on Thursday morning.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sorry, that's not it's a discredit to the kid because he's worked so hard to get to the position of where he's at. And then, hey, here's your prize. Your district or your tournament is essentially going to be getting to the finals. If you can get to the semifinals, getting to the finals is going to be easier than it was to get to the semifinals.
Yeah. And so there's kind of like there's a loud voice out there of the people that are like try not to, they don't want to get their hands wet and dirty with this kind of stuff where they're like, well, you got to beat the best to be a champion anyway. So when does it matter? It does matter because it matters to the kids that lose those matches that end up maybe falling down to third. It's a big deal to get to the finals. It's a big deal. That's why we put on a big production for it. It's a big accomplishment. And there's a lot of people out there that will just be like, well, they poo-poo on everything unless you're first.
Right. Yeah.
And I have a problem with that group of people.
Yeah.
So
and you do have to beat everybody. I mean, but you shouldn't have to beat the 4 best kids in the state to win a state title if you're the number 1 seed.
right.
You should have to beat 2 of the 4 best kids in the
Right.
state.
You should have to beat number 4 and number 2 as if it was to go chalk.
Right. Yeah. If you go chalk, you should wrestle the 16 seed, the 8 seed, the 4 seed, the 2 seed.
Yeah.
So your tournament progressively gets harder instead of
Right.
progressively gets
Easier. Yeah. Yeah. Cody, thoughts on that too?
No, I 100% agree. Just kind of one of the things I want to hit on is when we talk about our rankings with how you're kind of talking about like where you have your 6 guys, like we're not using bias or anything in our rankings. We're using track of who these kids have beat for these rankings. So
Right.
like they're not just randomly placing a kid at 6 because, oh, I like his schedule. Like we're going through looking who you've wrestled, looking if you went east of frickin' North Platte.
Yeah.
We're checking on that stuff. It's just a matter of we want to see the best matchups possible and seeing those in the semifinals and the finals.
Well, and here's
sometimes, when I'm doing rankings, I'll go through and I'll find a kid that, for example, is 41-4 2 weeks before districts. And I'm like, why don't I have this kid ranked higher?
Yeah.
oh
And then I go look at his schedule and I'm like, well, that's because in the finals, he's beat the same kid 9 straight weeks.
who's 20 miles down the road.
Right, who's 20 miles down the
Yeah.
road. Like we've hit on it before, but like, and I know some schools can't do it, and athletic directors don't allow it, and shame on those guys. But travel, go see the competition, and I think if we would go seed the whole state tournament, you would start to see people travel
Yes.
because
That's a great point.
because if you're going to see the state tournament, you want to get your kid in the best possible spot to get the highest possible seed at the state tournament to get him on the podium. So what are you going to do? You're going to go chase competition. You're going to go find the guys to wrestle.
Correct.
Yeah. And like you run a lot of tournaments on the track side of things, so you know how the algorithm works.
I did a district seating meeting in 15 minutes.
And so basically, like, we kind of have an understanding. I've been coaching for 15 years and I've been through the track side of things. Like with the rankings thing, like the only thing we don't use is basically last year's results, which is what a big part of the seeding process is for the state tournament, which is why you see, I wanted to hit on this too. You see some undefeated kids that are freshmen that are ranked. We have ranked number 1 based on results, but got a 4 seed because they don't have any history from the previous year to go against the ones that medaled.
I can speak on this from a district tournament that I ran 5 years ago now. Cade Ziola came into the district tournament as a freshman, 51-1 or something like that. And his one loss was a 1-0 loss to the number 1 kid in the nation at his weight. And he was the 4 seed at his district tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the algorithm that they use on track is not perfect.
Right.
But it's better than a random draw or you see it at Class A 132 where Cole Canagula is 17-3.
Yeah.
And he's seated over Creighton Lassen, who's 50-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, it's not, the track algorithm isn't perfect. And hey, newsflash, guys, we can get it closer to perfect if somebody writes a proposal to change the criteria order. Yeah. I have no problem, for example, if you look at Class A 113, Kyrie Thomas Calloway and Carter Booz, or Carter Booz is 49-0, KTC is 48-0. Yeah. Carter Booz got the number 1 seed. They're both returning 3rd place medalists from last year's state tournament. Carter Booz got the point over KTC for the number 1 seed because he has 49 wins.
And it could be that could be the difference of having one more hand raise and a forfeit for a
right. Yeah, correct. And so I do think there is some validity to using last year's, but I think record needs to move above state qualifier, because you might have qualified. You might have been 1-18 and got 3rd place in the D3 district at 106 because there was 3 kids in the weight. And now going to the next year's tournament, the first opening tournament of the year, when Franklin travels to the Ravenna Invite,
they have criteria.
Tate Holmes has criteria because he's a returning qualifier.
So that was a big story actually.
But Tate Holmes could be 1-18, be a returning qualifier, and then wrestle 150 next year. Not all returning qualifiers are equal,
right?
But a state medalist is a state medalist,
right?
So I mean, I think returning state qualifier should be the last criteria, and it's going to come into play opening weekend. There's nothing you can do about that because you have to be able to seed the brackets somehow, or otherwise you're going to be there for 50 minutes arguing about who's tougher in the weight room. This kid's good on the football field. Hey, this kid's got a hot mom. Whatever the seeding criteria some coach might dream up to be, but you
haven't heard that one yet.
Right,
but I heard the first two. Good in the weight room and good on the football field.
Don't forget about my kid placed at Huskerland.
Yeah.
I have heard a coach say, well, this kid's got a good-looking mom.
Yeah.
And coaches have been like, well, if he's got a good-looking mom, we better seed him high.
Yeah. Or the fact that it's like, hey, this kid's brother was really good.
Yeah, we hear that one
a lot. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, sitting through 15 years of seeding meetings and coaching myself, like you hear basically everything.
Yeah.
But
you got a really cool pet fish.
Yeah. So we'll kind of move off of the seating and
we're 20 minutes in.
I know we're 20 minutes. Haven't even talked to any brackets we talked about some team races. Obviously, they're going to be pretty awesome. We'll start with Class A. Cody, just a couple like some of the things that maybe stand out to you, obviously, aside from the team race
Yeah.
that Creighton Prep's
No,
going
I
to beat
think-
the record, because I mean we've beaten
Yeah.
that horse.
Yeah, I think first weight, what Colin just hit on, is going to be that 113-pound weight class.
Go Bears.
Have two undefeated guys with Kyrie Thomas Callaway and Carter Booz, and should be an interesting matchup. Two guys that like to score a lot of points. So they both get there to the finals. That's definitely one I'm going to have my eye on. 132 pounds.
It might be interesting though when that match gets into the 5th and 6th minutes of the match, because that match is probably not ending.
Right.
Like, how many full matches has Kyrie Thomas Callaway wrestled this
Yeah. Carter
you know,
Booz, same way.
So like conditioning might come into factor there.
Yeah. That and back to your whole seeding criteria. Look at the path that Kyrie Thomas Callaway is going to have to go through is Holden Townsley, who's been phenomenal this year in the quarters. Isaiah Tuttle in the semis, who's returning 3rd place medalist. So, I mean, he's got a lot tougher road, but
KTC will be okay.
yeah. Next weight is going to be 132 pounds. We talked about some of that seeding. So now we're going to have Ian Hardy and Creighton Lassen. That was a very close match first time they wrestled. That's going to be a semifinal over there, likely. Then winner wrestling against Cole Caniglia from Creighton Prep. One name to kind of watch out there is going to be Lincoln Unger, a fabulous freshman from Lincoln Southeast. And then the funnest weight for me this year has been 144 pounds. I mean, Cameron Green's kind of separated himself from everyone else, but we've seen, Gavin Peterson, Reese Santamaria, Jermaine Dortch, Kirk Wilson, Leighton Braithwaite, all these guys kind of beat each other. Carter Geschke, they've all kind of beat each other. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see how that plays out. That's another one I got my eye on there. And then just kind of moving around, I want to see, Mason Peterson, our last time getting to see him in the state tournament. He's arguably pound for pound in the state, just super tough, super fun, good kid. Excited to see him one last time make a run. And then obviously we got up at 215, kind of a three-headed triangle there with MJ Wash, Ryan Bailey, as I found out last night, and Colton Tucker.
Shout out Ryan Bailey's mom.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying the correct pronunciation of that name.
Yep.
And that's going to be a Tucker-Bailey match in the quarterfinals, and likely the winner of that will be heading to the finals against MJ Wash on the top side. So those are kind of the 4 weights I got my eye on, and that's where I'm at.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why did you not talk about 150?
Yeah, 150 is going to be a lot of fun.
I think 150 is interesting in Class A.
Yeah. You got Jay Sean Sterling from Omaha Bryan and Danzy from Millard South, likely a semifinal matchup. Sterling's got a 1-point victory over Danzy from the Metro tournament. And then you go over and in the finals, you're looking at if it is to be Sterling and Kieran Akerson, it's going to be, that match has been one takedown both times. It was 4-3 at the Metro tournament finals. And then last week at state duels, it was a duck under by Akerson to win that match 3-1 over Jay Sean Sterling. So it's going to be a lot of fun there and just kind of see how things play out.
I think you're sleeping on somebody in Class A 150.
Is he from your town, your hometown?
Watch out for Colton Kelly.
Yeah,
he's making his 4th trip to Omaha. He looked really good early in the year, and maybe is kind of faded off here towards the middle part of the year. Yeah. But Colton Kelly's dangerous. He could be a bracket buster.
Yeah. Chase Cole, Carter Eisman, a couple others right there that have been all kind of with Colton Kelly right there. So that'll be real interesting. That's where I stand on Class A. And
the one thing that you hit on, you kind of mentioned a handful of names, behind maybe some favorites and that kind of thing. And that's ultimately I know we're very concerned. And as a coach, I was always concerned, maximizing, the place position and all that kind of stuff, how we performing your best. But as a fan, I think the interesting stories are who finishes behind the favorite in what order, because it's more even, it's more parity behind the favorite typically. And I think the same is true a little bit with the team races, I think the race for second in Class A is absolutely crazy interesting. Yeah. And I'm nothing to take away from those that have plateaued way above the rest of the field.
Yeah.
But I think just from an entertainment perspective as a fan, it is more interesting to see a, what do you call it, a more parity field.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we've seen that in the NCAAs the last couple of years at 125, where 10, 12, 13, 14
Yeah.
people can win the
Yeah.
dang thing. And like, I think that's when people really start having a lot of fun. That way
There might be 14 guys that can win Class D 165.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually made that argument in Class C at 126. I said, I think there was 20 guys that could win it in a 16-man field.
Yeah. Well, to hit on your point with that Class A team race, I mean, beyond Creighton Prep, you're looking at basically what the team race was out at the Hack tournament with Columbus, Kearney, Grand Island, Lincoln East, because those four are the next four as far as point that it up. And then beyond that, you got Millard South, North Platte, and Omaha Bryan that are going to be pushing. I just don't know if they have as many guys as those top fours. So
right.
Well, Bryan would maybe be closer to the pack if maybe
they took a big, and they lost. That's 25, 30 points they lost there.
Right.
So,
yeah, big hit.
And then in a state tournament field, 25 to 30 points is
huge.
Is maybe the difference in 5 places.
Yeah.
Big
time.
Yeah. So, I mean, anything else in Class A, or you want to move to Class B? I mean,
yeah, we can move on now to Class B.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, Class B is going to be very entertaining. I think start there at the 120-pound bracket. Going to see a quarterfinal matchup with Goebel and Hanshaw. They wrestled at the Platteview Invite with Hanshaw winning that. But that's also the last time we saw Goebel for about a month.
Yep.
He got hurt at that tournament, was trying to battle through it. So it'll be interesting.
Got hurt in that match.
Yeah. So kind of interesting to see a healthy Goebel and Hanshaw, how that kind of shakes out. Then on the bottom side of that, you have Jackson Grebe from Gretna, who just beat Hanshaw last week at districts, and an Arata from Skutt, who's just been kind of plugging along, doing his thing.
Skutt things.
Yeah, exactly. So 120 pounds will be a lot of fun down there. 138 pounds, Brody Scobie has been pretty tough. Odin Anschutz, another big name up there. You got that freshman Harrison Alley from Standing Bear, who's really been coming on strong these last couple of weeks. Just a couple guys that are very impressive there. And 144 pounds, another big one. You got Ferguson from Elkhorn North. You got Higdon from Gretna East. Crankmeyer from Bennington. Campbell.
Grandel.
Gage Grandel from Ralston. Tristan Campbell from McCook. I think we kind of saw at Lexington Invite that Tristan Campbell is gettable. So I think that's gave a couple other guys some confidence. So 144 should be a lot of fun. And then up at 215, I think.
Hold on, you skipped away. 157.
Yes.
With Christo, the top seed, Allen Diaz from Lexington, Nuttleman, Grant Moss, Forrest Ewing, like Madden Middleton,
Jake Wagley.
57 is deep. I think there's a clear top 3, but Grant Moss has also beat Nuttleman, so I mean he's kind of in the mix there too. So
I do want to stop this for 1 second, just kind of a thoughts and prayers to Isaac Christo going through some loss this week, so just kind of keeping him in our thoughts. Okay, proceed.
Yeah. So what? I mean, you're on the upper half of Class B now.
Yeah.
57, and so
I think 215. We're kind of looking at a 2-horse race with Carson Bolchus. I think that's Case and Bolchus. Yeah, and Blaze Bauman. They've kind of been the top 2 at that weight throughout the year. Bolchus returning finalist last year. I believe Bauman was 3rd or finalist last year. So he's right up there. And those 2 kind of look like to be on a collision course versus each other. Those are 2 big, strong guys that are going to be probably tossing each other around. That's going to be a lot of fun there. And then,
so who, like, obviously behind Skutt,
hold on. There's one other thing that we got to touch on in Class B.
Aiden
Suma. If you haven't seen the video on Aiden Suma, like, go scroll back through about 497, 365 posts that we've done in the last week. We posted a video on Sunday night, I believe it was. About Suma and his battle with seizures and brain surgery, and he's probably going to be in the state finals on.
Absolutely remarkable story.
Right.
I mean, just
unbelievable story. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I had no idea until I watched that video on Sunday night.
Yeah.
So,
shout out to Jose for putting that together.
Right. But there is a bye in the bracket at 285 in Class B. Unfortunately, because a wrestler was kicked out of the district tournament after he had qualified.
How much time we got, boys?
Yeah. So we're not going to get into the weeds of that.
Yeah.
But if you're wondering why there's a bye, if you haven't seen the video, heard the hoopla about it, that is why there is a bye in Class B 285, is because of an ejection at the district tournament.
Yep. 3 buys in the whole tournament this weekend.
Right.
Boys,
and we're not sure that we've ever seen it before.
Yeah.
And there's 3 buys.
Yeah. So 3 in 1 year when we're pretty sure it's never happened. So
now, I interrupted you.
Back to regularly scheduled program.
I interrupted you when I brought up Aiden Sumo. Where were you talking about one more?
That's what I was. It was the district
Okay.
injection.
Yeah.
yeah. So I was gonna say, just like who's, obviously Beatrice, Bennington,
York.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of those three that are gonna be shooting.
Waverly
Obviously,
got good amount of kids in too.
Right.
So.
would you if you had to put them in a tier? Would you put them in the same tier as Bennington and them, or would you put them slightly below?
I think your next tier you're looking at is going to be a Bennington, Beatrice, and then York. That one,
and then Waverly.
Yeah, then Waverly right below that.
But a clear
they're
number 5.
They're going to be more of a depth position. Right. They're going to have Dominic Olson. I think kind of a clear cut favorite there at 126 pounds.
Kind of sort of.
Yeah, I mean that kid's unbelievable.
I think there's a couple teams that would be that tier with, like Alliance has got some dudes. Group. Scotts Bluff's got some dudes. Scotts Bluff could have 3 finals.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if that happens, then they're going to be up there, obviously.
Right.
So.
Yeah, the East's got 10 qualifiers. So I think that's that next group. So that'd be.
Okay. No, that's interesting. So, staying in Class B, you mentioned Dominic Olson and he's the dominance that he has had. Would you say, where would you put him in terms of like, who's the heaviest favorite of all classes? Is he the guy?
I think Riley Johnson's your clear cut number 1
Right.
heaviest favorite.
Yeah, Riley Johnson might be the pound for pound.
Yeah, I think the top 2 pound for pound argument right now is probably Riley and Mason Peterson, and then you're getting into that Dominic Olson territory, Ben Ziola,
Brody Jensen.
Brody Jensen.
I was just thinking of that.
Ooh, Brody might be up in that top tier.
Olson's beat Jensen though.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Put a pause in our regular scheduled program here. 2 things or 2 guys that we have failed to mention, and this is a good time to mention it because we're in Class B. Tyler Harrell will be looking for his 4th state title. Him and Zion Ornelius will be looking to become Nebraska's 39th and 40th.
Yep.
4-time state champions this weekend. If I had to be a betting man, I would bet that the finals are going to start at 26 or 65 on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
kind of what we saw last year.
Right. I would lean towards probably 26.
That's what I was thinking.
If I had to guess, they've been kind of trying to do that the last couple of years to try to keep fans in the arena because it is such a long weekend. So, with girls starting on Tuesday now, some people, including us clowns, have been here since Monday. So by the time Saturday rolls around, people are trying to get on the road. And so once their wrestler's done, if they're not in the team race, skedaddling out of here.
Yeah.
So
Kale's hit on it. How many times did you watch Tyson Terry in the finals? And there's maybe 300 people.
Well, that's what I was just going to say that, like when, before we get into class.
One of the best wrestlers in our state's history.
Yeah.
Before we get into Class C, like I wanted to say that, initially the thought was that if you kept the best for last, that would keep butts in the seats, and it just doesn't. It has never really worked itself out that way. And it's just like you said, because it's a long weekend.
Saturday's a long day.
There's Saturdays super long with all the TV timeouts, awards, all that kind of stuff.
Better now because we're not doing girls finals and boys finals
together. Yeah. Obviously helps things kind of move along, but it just, it's just tough. It's tough because of travel with how
Yeah.
from a mileage perspective from a
Right.
state area,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, sheer area. Like people got to get going. It's a long weekend, and you know, you only get so much time left on Sunday to relax.
If you're from Scottsbluff, you got to leave as early as possible on Saturday to try to get back so you can recover a little bit before you have to go to work on Monday.
Right? Yeah. So
Well, you jump into Class C. I'm clueless for this part, so I'm gonna go grab some waters. You guys want one?
I would
Yeah.
love my Freshka.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you guys.
I got a Mr. Pibb over there.
All right, I got you guys.
Okay. So
All right, we want to fight on this now, or
oh no, not yet. Okay, but in like 30 seconds.
okay?
So Class C's team race is going to be coming down to be it's crazy.
Thanks, Bart.
Obviously, as the districts came out and we looked through draws and all that kind of stuff, you know, like we're going to kind of save some of the individual talk really, because I think the storylines for the next two classes really highlight the team races. And so Battle Creek, you know, state champions last year, basically.
Thanks to Brendan Bowling.
Yeah, thanks to Pierce's Brendan Bowling. They have largely had the target on their back all season long, you know, and obviously, like we got to the state duels, and Pierce. Well, actually, it was back up a couple weeks before that. You know, Pierce knocked them off before the Mid-State Conference tournament in a dual setting there in Norfolk. Then a few weeks later, state duels did it again.
Somebody didn't think they were.
I didn't think they were going to do it. I mean, there were some pieces missing out of Battle Creek's lineup at the time the first duel came around, and so like, you know, I ate my crow. I talked to Coach Legate a little bit, and that group of Pierce kids, you know, they kind of cornered us out there leaving Buffalo County Expo Center and said, "Who's the one that bet against us or picked against us?" I had to raise my hand there, but so sorry to you, Pierce Blue Jays, but obviously that kind of shifted some things in the team race and stuff. And Cedar Catholic has had a solid presence there within that top three because you're basically guaranteed they're setting the floor.
Right.
You know, they're setting the floor and the bar with who they have with the three Hochstein brothers and then Maverick Heine at 132. So it's interesting. And then after this last week, you know, Central City and the draws that they got, you know, really kind of position them. It goes back. It goes strength of district, and I keep using the word draw because that's what we always used to say.
And I've been arguing with him all week about this. It's
So-
not a draw; it's how strong your district was.
So Central City's position in the bracket and their routes. I've been changing my words to routes in the articles. Really set them up nicely to make a run at potentially winning this thing in all seriousness. So obviously they are led by their hammer at 106 who pins everybody. Ace Schweitzer, you know, you get big points there. Quinn Jensen's a steady presence at 138. They're you know, sitting number 2, I think, and he's lost to Hayden Schmidt 5-0. And so like, you know, can you flip a match there or here or there? And then they kind of shuffled some things around when they got Preston Burbach back at from injury earlier this year and slotted him into 190, and they moved their former 190 into heavyweight, and he's competing fairly well for being so undersized, and that's Parker Stanton. And so I think Class C is just going to be absolutely fantastic to watch. And inside of that also 126, 175, and 215 have to be the biggest question mark weights around the state. In terms of that is the 3 weights that have made my job, I guess, ranking people the most difficult, because 215, everybody wants to win 2-1,
Right.
as we've discussed many times. 2-1 or 3-1 in overtime, 4-1 in overtime, I guess these days.
215 in Class C is going to add on at least 30 minutes to each day.
Yeah. It's crazy because there's a lot of evenly matched dudes in those weight classes. And like what we have, I mean, I think there's 2 clear favorites, maybe a third. Grady Welke from O'Neill kind of headlines that group. He has beaten everybody in the weight class for the most part. That is near the top of the rankings. Here comes Cody back with some water. Nice cold water.
Yes.
Welcome back, Cody.
Oh, man, and it's warm in here, boys.
Yeah. Oh, it's warm. So, that's just one of the weight classes I'm looking forward to seeing how it kind of turns out, because I mean, in terms of the team race, Connor Nordby from Pierce is a big piece for Pierce's chances. Colvin Peters for Central City is a big piece there. Neither Battle Creek or Cedar Catholic have anybody in that weight, but then obviously, like we said a little bit ago, Cedar Catholic's just got the 4 hammers, and can they pick up a match from their? I can't remember what weight that is.
175, right?
No, it's another kid, Kean Wicker.
Oh yeah.
If he can pick up, maybe a pin or something.
175 stayed home,
Right.
and he should have been.
Yes. Yeah. If Wicker can pick up a pin on the backside or something, or maybe on the front side, even, like anything happened in Omaha, but like that, then it just starts extending the floor, making it a higher floor because Cedar Catholic's, their points. You have to be above that floor to have a shot. So obviously, 175. I think there's a clear favorite there, obviously, with Alex Meineke and St. Paul.
Clear favorite?
Well, on paper and what everybody coming into the tournament might think, but I think me and Colin kind of like a certain kid from out west and how he's been wrestling lately to maybe rock that boat a little bit potentially. But I think Kobe Wells is on a hot streak right now, and he's wrestling his best that he has been all year. Like I know that those guys wrestled early in the season, have not met since, and we talk all year long, and I remember you saying on the phone that Kobe was in on the legs multiple times.
The score of that match when they wrestled earlier was not. Hey PJ, was not indicative.
PJ, want to come say hi on the podcast?
I asked him while I was out there to come say hi. Come on.
Hi on the podcast.
Yeah, this is one of our Class B guys, one of the most famous dudes in all of Nebraska high school
How's
wrestling.
it going, everybody?
PJ Smith.
About ready to rock and roll.
You bet.
Yeah.
Getting close.
Yep.
You think you've been in this arena for about the last 48 hours setting up?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah. When you're in Omaha, this guy's doing a lot of the behind the scenes.
I gotta ask, is your guys' mat? It's one of those where you can put the circle down on top of that,
Yeah.
so like you can change the line colors whenever you want.
I think so. I don't. That's the first I've seen it. I hadn't talked to Coach Sheebrance about it at all, so when I saw it, I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
slick. So
Yeah, we saw in the comments after you posted your picture. Somebody was like, "Man, they might have picked." Yes, Drescher. So
Yeah.
should have got black stripes.
Drescher's always got something.
Oh, yeah. Thank you,
You guys do a
PJ.
good job.
Yep, thanks. So kind of back in at 175, we were talking about Kobe Wells and Alex Meineke.
But there's another guy there too that's kind of been wrestling well, the 2 seed.
James Kansteiner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's obviously. I mean, when you have a good wrestling partner,
Yeah.
and your own brother,
Right.
to wrestle with every day, who is also like a threat at 165.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, I mean, they might be the only two in that wrestling room right now,
Yeah.
but like geez, you practice at home,
Yeah.
for 5 hours a day and just it's what a good situation for those two brothers to be in, to have each other.
The
to push
situation
each other.
like that, I mean, you go throughout your whole life with watching over your back because one of them's going to be coming.
Well, and the interesting thing is actually Cole beat James in an actual sanctioned match at the Conestoga Invite, or I think it was Conestoga.
Yeah,
Invite.
it's Conestoga.
And they were both at the same weight class because Cole hadn't been got down to 165 yet, and so Cole, who is the younger brother, actually beat James by I think 7-4. Or something
So
like
James
that.
has 4 losses, and one of them is to his brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I bet he hasn't lived that down all year long.
No, never. So, yeah, and then 126. Holy smokes! This is
Wanna play
basically put everybody's name on a piece of paper and start throwing darts because I think we've had a new number one maybe like every other week. I mean, especially coming down here at the end of January. Drayden Gossman from Pierce has been number one, but he didn't win his district. Dre Gardner from Mitchell has been number one, but he suffered a loss to the Valentine kid, Ronan Eggert, who was actually out of the rankings at one point this year. And then Eli Colt was for a long time until he hadn't made 126. So then we pulled him out, put him to 32, but now he finally is back to 20. He's at 26.
Didn't he go down to 26? the week you pulled him out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a common theme this year. If I pulled somebody out of the rankings, they all of a sudden started competing.
Yeah.
You know, so like that was a pretty awesome thing. But Colt and Gardner wrestled at the C4 district final, and that was a 9-7 match with Dre Gardner winning that match. So and then you throw in, oh my gosh, who else is in there? Tyan Thompson, Battle Creek. I'm missing some. Kevin Pedraza from Madison.
The top quarter.
The top quarter.
The
Yeah.
top quarter is insane. Pedraza, Misek, Colt, and the one.
Yeah, Misek from SCOTUS he got 4th at districts, and he was what we considered to be a top 5 guy like immediately when he got down to 26, because he's been at 32 all year too. So 26 has the most volatility of any weight class if you include the number 1 ranked guy, because 75 I don't think has that volatility unless you get down past one top dude. But it's been absolutely crazy, and so just looking forward to Class C. I'm not going to get too far into the weeds in terms of like, yeah, that's right. Riley Bishop from, oh my gosh.
Donovan Trumbull. You forgot about Donovan Trumbull.
Oh my God.
Director of player personnel at Donovan.
I don't know how many times I've been called the director of player personnel, Donovan Trumbull, in the last 24 hours. But
Yeah.
sorry to
You forgot
the
DT.
I was even wearing a Donovan
You are
Trumbull
apt.
hoodie today.
Yeah, he forgot about one of his own players who's director of player personnel.
Correct.
So, anyway, but I guess I want to talk about 13. I told everybody I was going to talk about 13 because this is where that seeding stuff kind of talks about. We hit on it at the beginning. Easton Widener, Donovan Trumbull, 51-0, outstanding freshman. I think he was number 3 in year as a Super 60 when he put that together for class of 2029, and has beaten the returning finalist Jace Martin twice from Wood River, most recently in the district final 9-6, where that was actually 3 takedowns to 1 and then 3 cuts.
Yeah.
So, and Martin actually had the first takedown, but Widener's been dominant all year. He has no criteria because he's a freshman, undefeated, but he gets the 4 seed because Eric Prado is a medalist. The other 2 guys on the bottom side, Martin is a runner-up in districts. So who the other?
I got it.
Yeah, we'll have to pull this up. Anyway, but then, you have, okay.
Francisco
Juan Lucas is a medalist / qualifier, and then Diego Juarez is a qualifier. I think
Hey,
go Diego.
There's my Ogallala boys.
So Widener and Prado, which they have not met this year, although Prado and Widener have both beaten Tristan Davis from Aquinas by similar scores.
Okay.
And I think, when Prado lost to somebody who was it in Class A, like 11-8, it was one of the top dudes in A.
I'm trying to think. That would have been down.
Probably KTC.
KTC down at the Auburn Invite.
Yes,
Right.
yes, and it was 11-8.
It was that not Auburn Invite.
Peru Invite.
Peru.
That first year of the Peru Invite, and so that kind of started catching people's eyes, and oh, man, I mean, this is gonna be a fantastic semifinal.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, wicked. So. Almost wish you could have it be in the finals. I mean, you don't want to say that those other guys don't have a chance, because they obviously do. I think Juan Lucas from Madison is a fantastic scorer. He scores a ton of points. If you go through his matches,
how about the return of Madison?
Yeah, isn't this awesome?
Yeah.
I feel like we finally come back to where an era that we've all grew up in.
Yeah.
Madison, they're starting to have. I think they had 6 qualifiers.
Yeah. I think Pender's another one they used to be real tough, and then kind of went down. This year it seems like they've put together a nice little team.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because Nick Arl, the Oakland grad, he's a state champ in his own right, and he took over that program, and he's immediately made impacts in bolstering how they wrestle now.
Yeah,
I actually know the question with them was always going to be schedule in Class C, but I also know and have heard through the grapevine, through connections, is that he is actively looking to change the schedule to make it tougher, but it's hard to do that all at once. You have to kind of piece that in, and so Pender's schedule is going to change over the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And looking forward to what he does with them, honestly, because
didn't mean to steal the Madison.
When he's trying to toughen out his schedule, talk to him about geographical regions and getting outside of your geographical region.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point, is because that schedule
was a podcast that we didn't talk about cross pollination.
Cross pollinate.
Tell him to get tell them to get some cross pollination.
I mean, the norm's always looking for teams. So.
Right. Yeah. So the other one, heavyweight. Wanted to talk about heavyweight just because of how. I mean, in terms of the strength of one side to the other. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything lopsided like that.
It's
2, 3 based on our rankings, numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 are all on the bottom side. Number 1 on the top side is the seed Jared Doxey from Winnebago, defending state champion. Won a very good heavyweight bracket last year. That was maybe one of the most deep we've ever seen.
And it just Thursday night, it just went bananas.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The 2 undefeated dudes didn't even medal.
Right, and they went down like within seconds of each other.
Yeah. So it's interesting how heavyweight's going to play out because someone's got to advance to the semifinals there, and then the two of those ranked guys have to cross over into the top side of the wrestlebacks. It means one of those dudes is going to stay home. Or 2 of them.
In heavyweight, Central City's got Parker Santon, who started the year at 190 as the backup.
Yes.
Is in a spot that he can get to the
This goes back to his discussion about
is in a spot that he can get to the semifinals, which would be absolutely massive for Central City and his team race.
I didn't put this. I put the scores on the preview, so you'll have to make sure you read our previews. But like Central City's championship chances, they skyrocket very high if Parker Santon, and I mean same thing at 57 with Zickman.
Right.
Those 2 guys have the most fantastic draws I've ever seen.
Yeah, but so let's talk about 57 because this just dawned on me. Elbow him in the root canal, will you?
Okay.
So, can Battle Creek return the favor to Pierce
and win it for Pierce?
And win it for Pierce,
but it would happen
by putting Cruz
into the final,
which would also
that line is not very far away,
right? Which also would put Battle Creek in the discussion of this team title.
Right?
That's kind of another massive spot where Cruz and
assuming Zickman.
Yeah.
So assuming both those guys get there,
right? That could be a massive swing.
I have that circled Friday night as maybe match of the night in terms of team race. Right. Assuming all the things line up the way they are supposed to, and how we project it, which obviously never happens, but it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And so just watch Class C. We got to get going to get to D, and because D is got to be just electric.
So Class D. Preview posted this morning. If you read it, it's kind of a 4-horse team race. Plainview Aquinas, Burwell Southern is how I have it right now, top 4. I have Plainview winning it with 103 points. Damn. I have Aquinas second with 99. I have Burwell third with 96 or 7. 6, 7. And
hey, elbow him for me.
Don't do that.
And Southern, who has emerged from the weeds here in the last 2 years as a program, at 94. So for those mathematicians at home, top 4 separated by 9 points. Now there's some massive things that could happen to influence this. Talking about things that can happen. Obviously, Aquinas has got 2 guys at 106. Only one of them scores points for them, though. But they might go first and third.
Just pause. That is another topic that is just absolutely in every facet of how we do this asinine.
That they don't score.
You should be allowed.
14,
this is another thing.
14 scores.
ADs, coaches, go get it freaking proposed because you should be allowed 14 scorers, not 1 per weight.
Right.
There's a difference because Aquinas is losing out on having DeWispelaire's points. And this has happened with Plainview in the past. Their 6-pointers.
He's probably going to get 15 to 20 points.
Right. Plainview has had guys.
And we've seen this system work out and what level of wrestling? NAIA. Right?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
So
14 scores.
Right.
ADs. So if you're listening to this, get your notepad out.
What?
We need a proposal to seed the whole district tournament and we need a
State
proposal to we need a
14.
proposal
14
for
scores.
14 scores. And I've got a third proposal that I would like to project on you right now, because how this district thing happened and we have 2 buys at the state tournament is because we wrote a proposal to shove 6 more teams west in the D4 district, because we don't serpentine the D4 district. Well, then it created a shortage of guys that could have been moved east and not given a buy to the state tournament. So
Yep.
how about we write a proposal to serpentine every
All classes,
freaking
all districts.
class,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all district, and the whole entire state.
Yeah.
If you don't have any returning team points,
Because
then you
that's
can
that's
get-
the other
then you
piece
can
to the
get-
travel.
then you can
Yeah.
get put into your geographical region, and you can stay west of North Platte. You can stay
Yeah.
east of Gretna. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But serpentine the whole dang state.
Yes.
Serve every class.
Yeah.
It's not Class D alone. But
I hate that.
but
Why propose one class
Yeah.
when
Right.
we do this?
just serpentine the whole class, the whole state. It'll be okay.
I just think
Somebody from Banner County might be coming to Omaha 2 weeks in a
We
row.
just Omaha North girls have to go out.
Right. Yeah, they
Gearing.
went out to Gearing.
Yeah.
Well, Gearing and Scotts Bluff were just
Yeah.
down here.
Yeah. At
this
Creighton
week.
Wahoo.
Yeah, Creighton Wahoo. Like,
what if those teams that
Football does it. All
what
the
if-
other sports do
Right.
it.
What if in Class D those teams? I don't know this for a fact, but those teams that had 3 kids at the district. What if the team that had 2 already had a third, but couldn't put them in there?
right.
Like
So
I mean,
I do appreciate the fact that you can only put 2 in a weight class. That is correct. That is correct. But make it 14 scores.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, anyways, Aquinas could go first and third at 106, and they're not getting points for the third place medal. But here's what gets interesting: they're actually scoring points with the Whistler because they're blocking Plainview from
Right.
getting a higher medal
Right.
with the higher the Whistler gets on the backside.
But now you're just making the counterpoint for not having
Well,
14 scores.
because
you'd be doing both.
right.
You'd
You'd
be
be
doing both.
doing both, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's kind of an interesting scenario there. 120 is a perfect freaking example of why we should seed the whole state tournament. Adric Stewart and Easton Malik, who are 1 and 3 in the rankings, and Malik, Stewart, and Larson are clearly the 3 best guys at 120.
Mhm.
Malik has beat Larson. Larson has beat Stewart twice now, so Malik is the de facto number 1 right now. That match on Thursday night is massive, because if Stewart beats Malik, Stewart's points chances they go from, like, Stewart's good enough to win it. He lost 6-5 in the district finals. So I mean that could be as much as like a 10-point swing.
Is he on pace for 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a
Adric.
defending state champion.
Yeah.
So Malik and because Stewart beat Larson in the district final, whoever won that match in the district final was going to be the 2 seed. Whoever lost that match was going to be in the same quarter as Malik. That's just how the bracket works. Like there's no getting around it. Then you jump up to 126, and it's the same freaking scenario. Bo Johnson, and,
like how many number
Right.
ones were like
Yeah.
in
Like-
the middle of the bracket
like-
this year though?
like Bo Johnson is the top seed, gets Lincoln Nikolajczyk, a defending state champion, in the quarterfinals because Nikolajczyk lost to Held, who's the 2 seed.
Yeah.
Like it's asinine.
Yeah.
It's irritating.
Here's another thing, because the reason why these matches, why we're complaining about that, if you have been to the state tournament on Thursday and you have been to the state tournament on Friday night, you know why those matches need to be on Friday night, because
Right.
the arena is sold out on
Right.
Friday. It's
It's
not on Thursday. Like Thursday's a great atmosphere. Quarterfinals are always great because you're securing medals in your pocket
Right.
and that kind of thing.
Right.
But at the same time, like Friday night I'm getting goosebumps thinking
Yeah,
about it
it's
because
the
it's
best
like it is the
environment
best
in the
environment in high school sports.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. I've seen basketball coaches and people that have never been here go to that event, and
Look
they're
at the
like,
basketball
"Holy
AD at
cow!"
York. He
Right.
talks about it.
Yeah, the basketball AD.
Oh, Herman, gosh, that guy has definitely transitioned to
Yeah.
basketball AD.
He was shooting half-court shots
I know.
yesterday at the
Yeah.
Nebraska women's game.
We were getting pictures all day
Yeah.
long with him at the
Right.
basketball.
So, anyways, back to our
With Austin-
regularly
Austin
scheduled
Bitchholder.
program of Class D state preview. 26 held Nick Isaac, great quarterfinal. Winners probably meeting held in the finals. 32 elephant in the room. Brody Jensen and Urel Cookie Guzman are both on pace for 4 state titles and are going
Same
to
bracket,
wrestle for a state championship on Saturday evening.
and that
most
match has
likely.
taken place already.
Yeah, and it has taken place, and it was not close. So, I honestly thought that maybe there was a chance at the time after. I think the weight cut became a little bit of an issue for Jensen, and they're like, why are we killing ourselves with the weight cut?
Yeah.
Like, we can probably go win any weight we want to. So, I mean, it's just unfortunate. I thought maybe Guzman would try to go down to 26 after that, but I mean,
What are the odds? It's probably not going to be a double stall call there.
no,
It's just-
not a shot.
I mean,
Not a shot.
An interesting fact we also found out on Sunday is not only are they competitors on the mat, they're also competitors in the rodeo arena.
Yeah.
So I found that out Sunday night.
well,
So-
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So 32 circle that for Saturday night, pending they both get there. That's 2 guys wrestling for a 3rd state title that are on pace for 4. 157 and 165.
I'm ready
Those
for
have been
this.
those have been just like clear cut all year.
Yeah,
haven't they?
just
I'm
clear
excited.
cut. I mean,
This is awesome.
I've got like a board in my office in my house that has these notes, and it's like this guy over this guy, and you got like red strings like trying to connect the dots,
yeah.
and it
Oh,
just
yeah.
looks like a
Private
huge,
investigator
Right.
trying to find out.
you're
what-
just trying to
you're
connect
trying to
the
find
dots.
Carmen
You're
San
trying to-
Diego.
You're trying to find
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
common ground of, I mean, Luke Harms and Kazan Smith are the only 2 guys that I've ranked number 1 there all year long. And Luke Harms was ranked number 1 there for 5 weeks and was wrestling 165. And
And they both lost.
they
last
both
week.
lost in the district
Yeah.
finals. So
Fitting, fitting.
shout out to Austin Pilster from Landman Golf Course, Homer, Nebraska. If you win it and you got the top seed, so if you win it and you want to take us 3 out for a round of golf at
Oh my gosh.
Landman,
I would love to play out
we
there.
would love to hang out with you and
Well, I have.
celebrate a state title with you if you can win it.
Both times it was really windy. Though.
Southern, this is where things get interesting for Southern. Is Southern's got a possibility of having 3 state champions. They could have a state champion at 113 with Wyatt Forney and Tristan Davis from Aquinas Catholic. Massive match in the finals. Could come down to this team race is so close that could mean the difference between
So-
2nd and 4th.
Tell me how big that Wyatt Forney's first round bye plays into
Right.
that because he doesn't
Because
get
you-
able
you-
to
you
get
don't
bonus.
you don't get activity points,
Right.
because he's not active, so you can't get activity points when you're not active. We have a bye because we push 6 teams west.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
Does
So
the visionary see it that far out though?
I don't think so.
you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think so. I don't think the visionary of this whole thing realized what was actually happening.
I think he knew what was going to happen.
What they did is they literally just moved which district was weaker, right? Like you just took 6 teams from one district because we thought that district was weaker, which it was a weaker district,
The Western District needed bolstered.
right? And it did needed bolstered, but what you did was you took chicken crap and made chicken salad. That's what you thought you were doing, and instead you took chicken crap and made chicken poo.
Okay.
Anyways, but soapbox gone.
Yeah.
Back to the regular scheduled program of 157 connecting the dots. Tristan Davis, Wyatt Forney, finalist, possibly at 113. Could be the difference between 2nd and 4th for Aquinas and Southern. could be the difference between first and fourth. We don't know. We have no idea what's going to happen. Things are going to get crazy. But so Forney could win it. Drake Troxel could win it for Southern. Colton, I don't know how you say this name. I'm going to say it as Itis. Colton Itis from Southern. Looks like the guy that's probably going to win 157 now. Still don't know. Have no idea. Also at 157, massive thing here for Burwell is Colton Taney beats Luke Harms in the district finals, who's ranked number 1, puts himself in a great spot to make the semifinals and get on a podium, which really bolsters the chances of Burwell winning this thing. Jump to 165. Fast forward.
Oh, I'm excited for this. We spent an hour the other night on this one.
So this one looked like for there's 11 weeks of the year prior to the state tournament. And for 10 weeks, actually I would say 9.5 weeks, this looked like William Picorni next topic, figure out 2 through 10, right? Looked like it was William Picorni's wait to do whatever he wanted to with, right? Goes to the district tournament and gets beat handily. Didn't get tossed and pinned.
13-7.
Beats 13-7 by Landon Veet from Elvin Public Pope John. Jace Roberson, who is the second-ranked wrestler, gets 4th in the D4 district in what was an absolutely insane weight at the D4 district because you had 2, 3, 4, and
Another one.
Yeah. So another ranked guy. Or no, it was 2, 3, 4, and then there was kind of like a mixture of guys who had beat those guys, and it was just kind of a mess. Yeah. Well, Dylan Colmorgan from Hitchcock County beats Jace Roberson in the semifinals. Colton Perks from Cambridge wins it. So that shoves Roberson to 4th. So just absolutely insane. So Roberson and Picorni, the number 1 and 2 ranked guys in the state, are going to wrestle in the quarterfinals most likely on Thursday night, pending that Roberson wins his first round match. Then you get to the bottom side of the bracket, and if anybody has any idea who to pick off the bottom side of the bracket, judging by last week's results, you would be like, oh, hey, Landon Veek is going to make the state finals. Next topic. Newsflash. Landon Veek got beat by Dylan Colmorgan the week before districts. Trent Brown, who's the 2 seed, has been beat by Dylan Colmorgan. Dylan Colmorgan has been beat by Brecken Collins, who's in the same quarter as Veek. Dylan Colmorgan has been tech-falled by Hayden Lands from Southern Valley, who bumped from 57 like 3 weeks ago.
This is nuts.
Dude, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I changed who I thought would be in the state finals off this side of the bracket 4 times on Sunday night reading this preview because I'm like, he beat him. And I'm like, well, maybe Colmorgan's going to do it. And then I'm going through Colmorgan's matches and find out you've been teched by Hayden Lands from Southern Valley, who you wrestle first round.
Yeah.
So Colmorgan, connecting the dots, has been tech-falled by the guy that he has first round, but beat the potential guy that he's placed or going to wrestle in the quarters, and has beat the guy that he can potentially wrestle in the semis.
Yeah. Clear as mud. Let's have fun. Trenton Brown could be just as massive as Colton Taney for Burwell. If Brown gets into the semis, he can make the finals. That's like a 20-point swing, possibly, for Burwell. So, like I said, there is some massive things that have happened in Class D that have affected the team race. You jump up to 285, where it's like 3 guys and then everybody else kind of type of deal. Haven Stewart for Plainview has a
cakewalk. Like it's kind of like the Class C heavyweight match. Haven Stewart's going to be in the state finals for Plainview, and that's a massive swing in points for them.
Well, if everything barring anything crazy,
If
anything unforeseen,
right? I mean, on paper,
yeah,
Haven Stewart's going to be in the state finals for Plainview. Massive points because Stewart beat Kyan Soames, who was ranked number 2 in the district finals. Guess which quarter Kyan Soames is in?
he's in the top.
He's in
quarter,
the top quarter with the number 1 seed, who's defending state champion Levi Gall.
and it should never happen.
So guess what? Plainview could maximize points this weekend.
Yeah, and I got some.
I mean, it's just unreal. One other weight that I need to touch on before we put a ribbon on this thing and go watch some girls wrestling here is 138. You got Drew Daw, defending state champion, number 1 seed, beat the number 1 ranked wrestler who he had been beat by, Brody Patterson, who dropped to 138, beat everybody, rank him number 1, and he gets beat in the district finals. That's massive for Burwell because and there's a Plainview Burwell quarter on Thursday night between Colt Cromerick and Drew Daw.
How's that match going?
Daw won it.
Okay.
No, they have not wrestled.
Okay.
I don't believe they have not wrestled this year.
So we all gonna pick a team. Winner buys the other one.
In for D?
Yeah.
I mean, I picked Auburn to beat Skutt one year.
I mean,
like, I'm not very good at this.
Right. I mean, I don't know who to pick.
Just having fun with it.
I picked Plainview on paper.
All right.
I'll
I'll
take
take Aquinas.
I was gonna say, give me Burwell. I'm an Ord guy, so I love the Calamus Lake.
Aquinas-
So
Aquinas could do this. The thing that's massive for Aquinas is 44 and 50. Simon Castle's got a massive quarterfinal with Trenton Wiedemeyer. And if Castle gets on top, the match is probably over.
Yeah.
Because Castle is legit good on top. If Castle wins that match, he's gonna have Briggs Hill in the semis. And I mean, I think Briggs Hill can beat him, but I don't know.
undefeated.
Right, he's undefeated. And the unknown is because if you get underneath and Castle gets his legs in, you better go in turtle mode and not on your back. Just pull your arms and legs in.
Yeah.
And
So if you didn't know, if you're from Arapahoe and you're Briggs Hill, you just got a scouting report.
yeah,
So
scouting report, don't go down.
Hey, Krogan, I took Aquinas.
I don't want to pick against Burwell because Burwell proved me wrong twice last year. And I like both Coach Gideons and I like Coach Jensen at Burwell. I don't want to pick against them. I like Coach Boyer at Plainview. I don't want to pick against him. Burwell made a fool out of me twice last year. So, I mean, make a fool out of me again because I picked against you in the preview. So,
well, okay. So you're going Plainview. You got to go with what you had on paper.
yeah, I have
took
to
Aquinas.
go to Plainview.
And I'm going with Calamus Lake. So
There we go.
Oh,
Go
I
Burwell.
thought maybe you were going to shock the world and go Southern.
No, I kind of wanted to just because I love stories from teams that aren't
irony.
normally there.
The thing about Southern
The
that
irony
makes
of taking Southern.
Why is that?
I mean, Cody probably should have took.
They should still be in the Logan View invite.
Cody should have probably took Southern because, I mean, Wymore, Beatrice, it's kind of all the same. Cody's kind of a resident, half resident of Beatrice. Actually, he's half resident Gretna, quarter resident Beatrice, quarter resident North Platte.
Hey, don't leave out
I was
Ogallala.
gonna say Ogallala's in there.
Ogallala,
He's like 1/6 Ogallala.
Yeah.
right, 1/6 Ogallalian. So, is there any other programs that Cody's kind of a quarter of?
He
Yeah.
likes Washington.
So state tournament is here.
Yeah.
Girls wrestling is 20 minutes underway.
They have started.
Newton.
So yeah. We're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
it's been an hour 15 minutes. We're super stoked. Obviously, we're getting a little silly.
Sweating our butts off.
It's super hot in here. Girls wrestling just started about 20 minutes ago, as
20
you
minutes
said.
ago,
So we
yeah.
kind of want to get out there, start watching that because there's really good first round matches there too. But we look forward to seeing everybody in the arena over the next few days, and just good luck to everybody. Again, thank you, Joe Schluckerbeer and Insure Nebraska, for the sponsorship all season long, and just making this podcast be possible.
In honor of Joe, I wanted to be like,
my goodness, look at that.
Whoa.
just for
Look at
you,
that.
Schluckbeer.
Hey,
Did
really
that today.
lean over this direction and get the shine on.
Yeah, I gotta get that shine.
There.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh.
That's some good stuff.
But you didn't,
Sweaty
but
stuff.
you didn't get the Bic. You didn't get the Bic out.
No. He didn't have the Bic out last week at districts,
Hey, one thing that I do want to touch on before we hop off of here, if you see Ron Higdon
Yes.
on the floor this weekend, give him a shout out and tell him thank you.
Yes.
Like as much as we want to complain about what's going on with the brackets and all that stuff, he doesn't control that. The NSAA has nothing to do with
That's
with
what I
how
was
that-
saying
how
earlier.
that works. It's the member schools. They have to write the proposals. That's why we've been hammering that.
Yep.
What Ron Higdon has done for the sport of wrestling in the state of Nebraska is
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. The Nebraska High School Wrestling State Tournament is the best high school sporting event
Yes.
atmosphere.
In the state,
No,
in the country.
in the country, United States of Nebraska or America.
A lot of state tournaments that are around here that they
Right.
do not have the luster that
No,
we have.
they do
Like,
not.
Hey, the only state in the entire country going to review.
Yep.
Heck yeah, dude. We should have touched on that.
Challenge brick.
Well, Challenge Bricks will be out there in the finals this year, so that's kind of crazy. We want to kind of know
Each team gets one brick per finalist.
who the first coach is that's going to throw it out there for.
Yeah, put it in the comments.
Yeah, we want to know who's going to throw the brick first.
Who's the first brick you see?
Yeah, so that's going to be it, fellas, ladies, everyone else.
Brownlow's my guess.
We are going to log off. We're going to go cover some girls wrestling, but we want to thank you for listening all season long. I believe we will be having some shows that will be recapping, obviously, the state tournament and throughout the off season for various things. So make sure you keep watching for that stuff. With that, we'll say
Adios.
adios.
See you in Omaha.